So Evansville was the last place where you were liberated from
Yes,
Evans?
I was liberated by the Americans.
Do you remember the Nazis
Yes.
leaving?
This was for 2 weeks. We literally did not get any food. We just had to look for things that are that I really don't want to describe it, and I don't want to speak about myself. But I was 60 pounds when I was liberated, and there was nothing but bones. The morale and all you saw is skeletons, living skeletons throughout. And we heard bombings, we heard guns, and then the SS left and was taken over by the Wehrmacht, the regular army. 2 days later, we heard tanks come, and they broke the gate and they marched into our camp. And they were very wonderful, but a lot of people died after because their system couldn't take it, and they just.
Were you indifferent? Were you happy? Can you remember that moment of being liberated?
We couldn't be so happy. We weren't happy. It wasn't like being liberated and somebody's waiting for you. You know, it just. You just beat
How old
you
were
up.
you when
I
you were
wasn't,
liberated?
well, I was almost 15. June is my birthday, and this was on May 5th, 1945.
And then what happened?
Unfortunately, one of the soldiers was too kind to me, and he gave me a big can of peaches, but those are a gallon. It was a green can, I still remember. And I ate most of it. And then I was very ill for about a week. We had all kinds of food, and the soldiers, it wasn't that they sent in the Red Cross. I mean, they were themselves bewildered what's going on. They were not prepared for this kind of horror. So all they did is they gave us without any supervision. They gave it from the heart. Because when they saw somebody hungry, they saw somebody weak, they gave you, and it was too much to. And but yet, all of us psychologically were so damaged that I just want to bring out one point. One of my friends, David, they called him, and he had a beet,
A vegetable
beet. We found that about 2-3 weeks before in the field. He found that, and he kept that for a rainy day, and we would never touch that, and this was his security blanket. He kept that beet. It was totally rotten after the liberation. We had food galore, but he would not give up that beet. Now, at that time it didn't make sense, but now it makes a lot of sense.
How long did you stay in the camp, and where did they move you to?
They didn't move us. We got a hold of American uniforms, and at that time kids spring up very quickly. And then we heard about somebody saying Palestine, Palestine. And we heard the word Bari, that they were from Italy, you can go there. A jumper train that were repatriating Italians that were in Austria. And we went to Italy. We saw a soldier in Modena, that was. And he looked different because of his uniform, and we saw the first time I saw another Mogen David. I mean, we had in the ghettos Mogen David with a yellow on our, this was our mark, but we saw a Mogen David on a lapel. He recognized that we are kids, Jewish kids, and he grabbed us and he took us to the headquarters, and the Israeli brigade was fighting in Italy, and they took us to a home, and they taught us. They fed us. They used to bring all kinds of not little, but jeeps and trucks, and we used to take them apart and pack them, and they would go to Israel. But when the British found out, they took the entire Jewish brigade and they shipped them to Holland. I was there for about 6-8 months because my brother and my sister found that I was alive.
How did they find out?
Believe it or not, it took almost a year till people found out every night they would have, through the HIAS or the joint distribution, they would call names where they are. My sister Frances was the first one that heard my name in 1946. This was almost like 8 months.
Where was she when she heard your name?
She was in Sweden. She survived, but I didn't know anybody survived. I did not know that anybody is alive, and I would not go back to Poland because I blocked it out of my mind. I will not go back, and if there's anybody who will survive, my family, I knew by this time I had no hope that my mother would survive. I knew my father didn't, and I didn't know where my sisters. My brother met me, and he took me back. They didn't meet me there, but I met him on a train station, and he took me back to Austria. From Austria, we lived in Austria sort of for about a year, and then I went to France, and from France I came to the United States. I really wanted to go to Israel at the time. And I guess everybody wanted to go to Israel, but we found some cousins and some relatives here, and they sent us visas, and we came here, but all different times. I came in '48.
You didn't know family was alive.
No.
What thoughts did you have of what would become?